else in the world. You see the big blue plane? That's what you call a de Havilland Beaver. That is the second largest small engine plane that's ever been made. They don't make those anymore. They're owned by Regal Flying Service and Russ Flying Service. They own 5% of the planes here. The other 95% are privately owned planes. Now, the de Havilland Beaver is called the workhorse of Alaska because you can put 6,000 pounds under the wings and 6 passengers. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you decide to take a flying charter while you're here in Alaska, alright, don't let the pilot trick you. Passengers go in the plane, not under the wings. This is Alaska. They will try you. Who's flying Alaska Airlines? Hey, look to your right, there's a bald eagle. Up over the window, bald eagle.
Just flew over it.
He lives here at the lake. Now, who's flying Alaska Airlines? A lot of brave souls. A lot of brave souls. Lady Shorty sent you out. Yeah. Here's the thing. Just so you guys know ahead of time, Alaska is the #1 consumer per capita in the United States for duct tape. Just thought I'd let you know. Also the #1 consumer in the winter time in the United States for ice cream. I don't understand that one. Duct tape I get. Robitussin duct tape and a paper clip can fix everything. Now I've been in a small plane twice in my life. It will never in my life happen again, but I've been in it twice. Neither one of them good experience. But one was a Cessna just like this big one right here, the other one was a Super Cub just like that. That Super Cub right there is a lightweight plane. Its whole body and wings is made out of wood and fabric. They spread its polyurethane spray over the fabric to make it a hard like plastic substance, okay? And they call it the cut of the sky for a reason because they strap the biggest motor they can to it. Really good at loop-de-loops.
said, we're driving on the railroad tracks now, going through 2.5 miles of solid bedrock underneath the 6,000 foot mountain. That red light for a few minutes while the coach in front of us went through. They have a metering system here in the Anton Anderson Tunnel. So if a motor coach is full of people, they try to put a 30-second time difference between us. And that's because coming up here on the left-hand side, you'll see what's called a safe house. These safe houses, in the event of an emergency, can hold up to 55 people, and they have enough supplies to be able to last for about 5 days in the case of an emergency. Now,
Going to do again on our Alaskan adventure tour this time. Alright, today we're at a place called Hubbard. Did you hear that? Hubbard Glacier. And I know that's going to go to somebody's head real quick. Anyway, this thing is absolutely huge. The one we were at the other day was very big. This one is absolutely huge. 78 or so miles long this glacier is, approximately 600 feet high, and I can't remember how wide it was. It was very wide, I think a mile and a half wide. There's some huge, depth come over, some huge lumps of ice floating by us at the moment. Probably don't look big to you, but believe me, they are huge.
We have cover seals on the iceberg.
And if you see the little boat straight ahead over here, it's not little, it's quite a size, that boat. Tourist boat taking people over to the face of the glacier.